disrupted.
America that I fought.
Weird thing to happen. Hello, one and all. Welcome to this edition of Kitz Corner. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So the Democratic Party has a question. Why can't it engage with younger people? Why is it losing touch with the younger audience? Could it be the fact that, like, the older generation has always yelled at us for, it's our own fault for not being hip and cool enough to align themselves with a demented, senile, buffoon, warmongering piece of garbage for a president? Or maybe because the Democratic Party has failed on every single empty gesture or promise they have given to the younger votes. Well, it's a bit of kerfuffle for them, and they're trying to figure it out because, as CNN has pointed out, Biden, a pre-boomer, that's right, he's older than a baby boomer, so he can't even say okay boomer at this point, is losing the younger voters Democrats need. Gee, I wonder why that is. Don't the younger kids find, creepy old geezers like the new hip thing? Isn't that, the ironic? Like, this guy is edgy. I mean, he told a bunch of millennials that he doesn't care. He promised you tuition-free college. He failed on that. He failed on $15 minimum wage. He failed on promising you peace and prosperity. Why don't you like this guy? Come on. Could it be the fact that Joe Biden isn't Pokemon Go going to policies? Could it be the fact that he's not whopping? He's not doing the nay-nay to promise you Medicare for all? Could it be the fact that he's using stupid ass jokes like I'm doing right now? Well, at least someone is trying to get to the bottom of this. And by someone, I mean another out-of-touch geezer. And that is Bill Maher, ladies and gentlemen. Because Bill Maher on his show brought this to attention. And he has some interesting theories, I'm sure. And Bill Maher, when he's right about COVID, he is wrong about everything else. And here's just a classic Bill Maher take of just showing how vapidly empty this man really is. He has still a show on HBO, and this is the reason why for it, because he's an out-of-touch millionaire. He's been an out-of-touch millionaire since my existence here on this planet. He's been a millionaire for 20 straight years, and he just continues to show his out-of-touch style on his HBO Real Time with Bill Maher. Take a listen to this.
So here's the other group. Under 35, Trump leads Biden. Wow. Yeah. You lose the kids. And this is mostly, I think, because of a wedge issue. I don't know if people really know what a wedge issue is. That means a wedge within the party, something that divides people within the Democratic Party. And for that is...
At least he, gave you an explanation of what a wedge issue is. Because, I don't know, people like us, we thought maybe he was talking about a Parmesan wedge. Or do you say Parmesan? 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 I say Parmesan because I think in Italy, I'm not too sure, but I've met some Italian folk and they say Parmigiano. So I go with Parmesan, but some people say Parmesan. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about this. I'm just stalling. But here's where this gets really interesting.
The kids love Hamas. And who couldn't? Who couldn't?
So I don't know if you missed that. Let's back it up here.
The party, something that divides people within the Democratic Party. And for that is the kids love Hamas. And who couldn't?
So he believes that the only issue is that kids apparently love Hamas. Kids are simping up to terrorists. So it sounds like it's the kids' fault. It's the kids' fault for simping up to terrorists, or what they call terrorists, and that is why the Democratic Party is failing. It has nothing to do with policy. It just has to do with the fact that, hey, if you're not in line with our agenda, you must be a terrorist. Is that going to be the new slogan for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, 2024? Vote us or you're a terrorist. Is that what's coming to? Because if you vote Trump, you're apparently a domestic terrorist. If you think voting a third party, you're even more of a terrorist. If you don't bother to vote, then you're ruining democracy. So you're also a terrorist. So anything you do, anything you do really outside of the establishment bubble, the establishment Joe Biden, Kamala Harris circus, you're deemed a terrorist, or at least a sympathizer. How dare young people look at a genocide and then condemn that genocide? My God. Can you kids just not get into line? Like, can you not just be a hipster, a totally deranged hipster, and just go with the flow? Come on. What is it with kids and thinking? What is it with kids and the internet and looking up things and researching? He's saying the kids are Hamas lovers. That is beyond derangement. Beyond derangement. Considering the fact that over the span of 4 years, Joe Biden has failed at every single policy, and Bill Maher knows this, but he doesn't care about those policies. He doesn't care about college or education or healthcare or infrastructure or nothing affects him. But because Hamas and Israel is the most recent thing, yeah, they're just a bunch of Hamas sympathizers. They're a bunch of lovers for terrorists. Wow. And they're laughing about this.
Who couldn't resist them? I mean, they behead babies.
Yeah.
Or do they? Oh, this is interesting, yes. See, now there's something called they say it's a false flag operation. They're calling them, remember 9/11 truthers? These are October 7th deniers.
Yeah.
You've read about this?
Yes, I
Okay,
have.
this is in the Washington Post this week. A small but growing group denies the basic facts. Some, they say, Israel staged this to justify their invasion of Gaza. The hostages, not really. They were kidnapped by Israel. The United States is behind the whole thing. There's a professor who says, this is a professor in New York, don't take what the media says. They try to say you're supporting rapists and people that behead babies, both of which, we know it's not true. No, we know it is true. They purposely filmed it, and we have the footage.
It's very on brand for.
Again, I just love how vapid this message is. Like, we know it's true because we have the footage. We have the proof. Well, can you show us the proof? What examples are you giving? What sources are you... No, well, we have the proof. Trust me, bro. Trust me. Follow the science. Trust me. The Israel-Palestine war is very safe and effective, guys. Come on. Just trust me. Trust me on this. Don't actually look into it. Don't actually look at how Hamas was created. Don't look at the fact that Netanyahu praised, established, and financially escalated Hamas to being the terrorist group that we're apparently fighting, just like we did with the Mujahideen, which is reported back in 2010. And all these guys know about it. All they had to do was open up their phones and do a little research. But no, we know this. It's fact because I was told this on CNN, so it's got to be true. It's got to be true because my sister network told me. And that's got to be right, because why would CNN lie to us? Why would the mainstream media that supports the war establishment and the giant war machine that has lied us into wars for the last 20 plus years, why would they lie about this one? I mean, maybe they lied about Ukraine, and maybe they lied about Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria and Libya and all these other places. Why would they lie about this? And let's not forget, Bill, the obvious fact that really pops the bubble on your idea that Hamas is the most evil, corrupted terrorist group in the world is that the people at the music festival that was the incident of October 7th, the people that were victimized during this horrific attack, they're suing Israel. They're not suing Palestine. They're suing Israel for failing to protect them. Because even the party goer, even the music followers, the people that were at this music event, they know that they're going to get screwed by their own country. The people protesting are protesting against Netanyahu before October 7th. So do you see how we don't believe how there's so much suspicion? It's almost like it's not a false flag. It's a manufactured event. It's a manufactured event to get us into another war on terror, because in order to have a business with war on terror, we have to establish terror. We have to create it. It's not that hard to figure out, Bill. It's not that hard. It just takes some encouragement. It takes the initiative to actually look into things. Or so-called your truthers. Oh my God, they're such an evil group. My God, these people that are looking up things, investigating. Oh, like journalists. What a sick bunch.
Social media, and it's very on brand for the planet as far as its relationship with the Jews over many centuries. We have this weird stalkerish relationship to the Jewish people.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre thing. We have like something like 60% of the religious-based hate crimes in this country are committed against Jewish people, which are 2% of the population. So what does that tell you? Like there's something else going on there that, and this is just the latest. You know, this is it's why Israel exists.
Well, and I feel that
I really bite my tongue because of the fact that I still want. Listen, I've said this before. Seth MacFarlane is a talented person. He's a talented man, and I hate that his vision, his creativity, his passion, like the fact that he successfully created Family Guy, American Dad, the Ted movie franchise that's now apparently a streaming thing on Peacock. Apparently that's what I've been told. And he's a well-established singer. He's an artist. He writes. He tells jokes. Like, he's a well-gifted person, and it grinds my gears. I really have to bite down on the words they say now, because it seems like Seth MacFarlane, the moment he got away from Family Guy, the moment he got away from, writing material that used to be the offensive, he used to actually criticize the establishment, used to actually make jokes that were punching up. The minute he got away from that and got more comfortable into, the mainstream sphere, being on Bill Maher's show 24/7, it just ruins his reputation. It ruins his reputation. Like Seth MacFarlane, I feel like would be the old Seth MacFarlane would be agitated by this. He'd be saying, "What the hell are we doing? Like, why are we even mentioning? Like, it's the oldest war that's going around. It's the oldest, occupation. Why are we sending our money over there? Like, it's so stupid." And also the fact that Seth MacFarlane is a well-known atheist. Not to, again, not to bring religion into this, not to try to religify all this. Not even a word, religify. We'll go with it. But why? Why? And I don't understand the whole social media, like, we're stalking Jews. That's apparently the claim. We're stalking them. What exactly are we doing that we're stalking Jewish people, as opposed to the thousands upon thousands of Israel supporters that are trolling me right now? They're the ones attacking me. They're the ones saying, "Hey, you didn't say anything in support of Israel, so you must be a bad person." Dude, I'm just trying to sleep. Like, I get messages on social media of why I'm not being supportive enough for Israel, where I'm basically saying I'm not supportive of any regime. I just want all these wars to stop. The reason I'm for a ceasefire is to stop all this. Stop all the wars. Stop all the bloodshed. Let's focus on actually rebuilding humanity and getting shit done together.
this keenly because I'm the.
But now here comes Adam Schiff, and you know about Adam Schiff. He is the biggest supporter of Russiagate. He's the biggest supporter of Ukraine. The invasion of trying to get the United States into Ukraine so they can go after Russia, that manufactured war. This is the war hog commander of the Democratic Party. Of course, sitting with Seth MacFarlane and Bill Maher. It shows you the vapid emptiness of all this. and why you don't see people like Glenn Greenwald or Aaron Mate on a show like this. Aaron Mate can do circles around them. Glenn Greenwald can run track around these idiots and give them a further explanation of why this is even happening. But they're clueless on this. So here's what Adam Clueless Hack Job Schiff is going to say about this.
The subject of a lot of that hate online. And it's so hard to set the record straight and correct all the disinformation out there. For a while, there was a very well circulated meme that my sister had married George Soros's daughter. And I remember when it first came out, calling my brother Dan and saying,
Your sister married George Soros.
Wait, shit, was that not true?
well,
I told
I have to delete a few tweets.
So I called my brother Dan, and I said, Dan, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we have a sister. Why didn't Mom tell us? And she married really well, but the bad news is she's clearly holding out on us. But, you try to correct.
Apparently, we have to destroy all of Palestine and all the Palestinians' lives. All the children must be massacred because some idiot came up with a meme against Adam Schiff. That's what it sounds like to me. Because some idiot thought Adam Schiff had a sister married George Soros or someone in the George Soros family. Some idiot made up a meme, and that is why Gaza can no longer be. From the river to the sea, all because of a meme. Oh God. That's gonna be the poster. It's gonna be Adam Schiff's face with that caption at the bottom. From the river to the sea, we must explode, Gaza because of a meme. Like, come on. Oh my God.
That kind of trutherism about October 7th, or, we had that trutherism about 9/11. But it's even worse now because the social media funneling effect that just takes people down that rabbit.
Oh my God. It's the worst thing imaginable that people are curious. I mean, it's dangerous, folks. It's so dangerous. Just like how 9/11, the truthers, majority of them family members who lost victims during that tragic event, wanted to know what happened so they can finally get some closure for their lost ones. And they were told that, hey, shut up. This is a horrific time. You can't ask questions. They said that to the family members. They said it to the people that lost their own loved ones in a tragic event. And they were denied information. They were denied to look into it. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? It's like if one of your family members died from a homicide and they're investigating the homicide and you asked, hey, what exactly happened to my, loved one? And the police told you, hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Leave it to us. We'll not tell you anything. And then you're called a truther. Like what insane universe do we live in where being curious and looking into things is the dangerous part of a situation? It's more dangerous to be knowledgeable than it is to let warmongers continue on the path of destruction. Like that's the world we live in, folks. And it blows my mind.
Just because it's worth talking about for a second, because we just blew by it. The fact that you do have people in their 20s, even their 30s, who are gravitating to Donald Trump over this one issue, and it's admittedly a horrific issue to process in every way. And I've been reading about it since October 7th because I felt like I was not educated enough, and I'm still reading about it and still.
Oh my God. I've been reading up on this thing since October 7th. I've been reading about this thing when it came important. That's like the typical liberal stance. Like, I feel affected by this the moment the news told me how important this was. And that is why I did everything in my power to look up the exact same mainstream media garbage that repeats itself 24 hours a day, almost written like an AI module, just shoved down my throat. Oh my God. So hilarious. I've read up to read October 7th. I didn't care about this, but then it happened, and then I really read up on this. So I know about this one issue. The fact that Seth MacFarlane doesn't know any of the other issues, or the fact that the Democratic Party has failed young people since Obama left office. And that's why, you know, people like Hillary Clinton definitely lost when it came to the younger votes, even when she came up with the Pokemon go to the polls. That didn't click on the young people because they knew the Democratic Party was going to screw them. They knew how many times the Democratic Party was going to feed them a carrot and then slap them with a stick. That is how maniacal this party is. But Seth MacFarlane, because he's comfortable in the Hollywood sphere, he doesn't care. He's not worried about it. But he's worried about something that he saw in the news. So I'm going to read up everything I can on this, but not the important stuff. If you read the important stuff, then you're considered a truther.
Feeling like I'm not grasping every nuance. I would hope that everybody protesting has done the same. But it means that you are giving up on reproductive freedom. You're giving up on climate legislation. You're giving up on everything that supposedly is important to you and putting it all on the line for this one issue. And
Which you're also wrong about.
yeah, I mean,
Well, first of all,
and by the way, potentially giving up gay marriage, as Clarence Thomas told us when he released his opinion.
right. Well, gay marriage will not be an issue among the people in Palestine.
No, it wouldn't. No.
There's so many things wrong with it. So many things wrong with this situation. I mean, the fact that they're trying to bring up the fact like, oh, well, you guys, hey, if you don't vote for the Biden clan, if you don't vote for this warmongering, senile circus freak and the administration that caused you this havoc, you're going to get like worse havoc because reproductive rights are a problem right now. And you want to get that away. You want to get that away because you gotta fight for abortion as well as the Democratic Party failed to fight for abortion. Or I should say Roe v. Wade, because when you say abortion, that obviously gives off a negative. You know, as poorly as the Democratic Party fought for union rights and workers and benefits, because the Democratic Party is not a working class party. The Democratic Party is the plant-based Republican. That's basically what the best analogy I could say. It's like Republican plant-based. You think it's better for you think it's healthier for you, but in the end, when you take a bite and swallow it down, it's just filled with the exact same garbage chemicals that the Republicans already offered you. At least the Republicans, you know what you're going to get. Democrats have lied to you. They give you an empty gesture. They tell you, hey, we're going to we're going to protect workers' rights. We're going to fight for Roe v. Wade. Give us $15 and then we'll maybe try somewhere down the line at this, maybe some point, just give us money. Give us money and then maybe we'll consider fighting for, good things. And let's not forget the cherry on top of, why Joe Biden ticked off so many younger people. I think it goes on the line of cranky old, bastard. I think this kind of, ties us all up when the fact that Joe Biden told a room full of millennials, my generation, don't tell me how bad it is, change it. Young people are facing a dark financial future, but the Democratic presidential candidate, this was written back in 2019, doesn't want to hear doesn't want to hear it if they aren't going to get politically involved. Well, here's the thing, Joe Biden. We are politically involved. We are the ones being on the street. We are the ones creating grassroots movements. We are the ones trying to fight back. It's people like you that don't give a shit to begin with and are pulling us down. You are the ones that are knocking us down as we're trying to build up. And you're telling us that you don't care. You don't care. And now here you are. This is from 2019. And now here you are in 2024 going, why isn't young people standing for me? Why am I not getting 4 more years from people under 35? Why don't people like the creepy ass Uncle Joe? Maybe we gotta play Cotton Eye Joe. Maybe that will boost up younger people. Come on! Or maybe the Democratic Party is a dead on arrival party. The Democratic Party is a dead on arrival party, and the young people are taking notice of it. Not just because of TikTok videos, not because of podcasts like here. They're taking notice of it because every single time you get a fake promise from a political party and then get told, hey, chip in, help me get elected, and I'll fight for it, they always lie. They've always failed to you. Look at AOC. Look at the campaign of the squad. How well that worked out. Oh, if we get younger, fresh faces that sound like Democratic socialists, then maybe we actually can have a chance in a working class party. No, you don't. Because the minute they got into office, they knocked them down. They really scrutinized with them. They played brain games and mind games and manipulated them. And then once they got a little comfortable, AOC and the squad became the establishment. Bernie Sanders became the establishment. The only difference between all of that is that at least Tulsi Gabbard got out of politics. But Tulsi Gabbard is also sticking with the establishment. So it goes to show you, no matter who it is, you're not going to get any notion from these two dead-on arrival parties. Because it's all for top 1%. It's for the elite class, the criminal mafia class that are using everything in their power to oppress the younger working voters. And that is why they are not so excited about Cotton Eye Joe getting reelected, among many, many other things. But Bill Maher and Seth MacFarlane and Adam Schiff, if they bother to actually pay attention or actually ask someone in the audience or maybe go outside their studio, maybe ask someone on the streets as they pass by every tent city going to CBS Studio Center or wherever this is being broadcast, maybe you can get an insight on why people don't like Joe Biden. But no, it's because everybody's a terrorist simp. Because everyone's a terrorist lover, and if you don't vote for Joe, you're evil. You're a Trumper. You're a racist, a xenophobic, a hater of everything. You are the worst person imaginable. That's going to be a winning message.